In the previous lesson, we worked on a document, or basically set it up, for intent to print. Now, Illustrator came out in 1987, and that's about what it did, layout to print and press. It would have been, in 1987, very unusual, highly unusual, to use anything in Adobe Illustrator for incorporation into a web page. But that was then and this is now. Illustrator is used quite a bit for web design. I can do entire mock-up sites and lay them out in Adobe Illustrator. So we need an intent, just like we did for print, but for web. Now we'll start out kind of the same way. Go up to the word File and go down to New. Pretty easy. This time let's give it a name. Now since that name will eventually bear no relationship whatsoever to the actual name of that page, call it anything that you want. Profile, I like these profiles because they help us out. They get us started. Doesn't mean I can choose print and change it to web, but if I go to web, a lot of the stuff's already filled out for me. So I'm going to go to web. Size says 960 by 560. Now if I click there, you see some standard ones like 1024 by 768, 8 by 6, 1280 by 800. What's 960 by 560? I don't know that one, Andy. Understand, according to the World Wide Web Consortium, 960 by 560 is the ideal width and height for a web page if it's being displayed on a standard 1024 by 768 monitor. That's why that's there. It's kind of nice to know. Let's go ahead and use that one. So we'll leave it right there. Now we've got landscape, which is obviously what we're going to use. Our units are pixels, which makes sense. We don't need a bleed on a web page. I'm not even sure why that's there, to be honest with you. And our advanced features are set up for us. Color mode is RGB. All monitors are red, green, and blue. Raster down to 72. Preview mode default, again, we'll talk more about that later. Align new objects to pixel grid is on. Now why? Well, when you align objects to a pixel grid, and that's a good thing, anything we draw inside of Adobe Illustrator will automatically align to this invisible grid that's on that page. What does that do? It really helps prevent visual pixelization of the image when you're looking at it on a monitor. That's a good one to leave on. You go ahead and click OK. Now, if I press the shortcut Control-R, or Command-R on a Mac, Control-R in Windows, I get my rulers, and you will notice they are measuring indeed in pixels. But if for whatever reason I want to change that, and that wouldn't make too much sense here, because we're working on a web page, I could right-click my mouse and change it right here if I want to. Well, there you go. You got a blank tabula rasa page all ready for you to put together a really cool website.